Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're talking Rendmaw Creaking Nest in Commander. Rendmaw is a 5-mana 5/5 legendary artifact creature with menace and reach. Whenever we play a spell with 2 or more card types, each player creates a tapped 2/2 bird token with flying. These tokens are goaded for the rest of the game. A goaded creature just means it has to attack, and it has to attack a player other than you. This means that our opponents are going to be duking it out each combat while we continue to set up our board state. So my goal in this list is to have a good amount of cards with 2 or more card types so that we can flood the board with birds. I also wanted to implement a few very good Delirium cards, and lastly, since we'll be making a ton of tokens, our game enders include massive overrun style effects and aristocrat drain effects. Alright, without further ado, let's get into that deck list. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video today. If you enjoy it, please consider smashing that like button and subscribing for more EDH brews each week. As always, the full deck list can be found in the description below. Alright, starting off, we're playing 14 sources of mana ramp in this deck, which may sound like a lot, but our game enders are a bit expensive, and Rendmaw himself is 5 mana. So I wanted to ensure that we could get him out on the field as soon as possible to start making some birds. Luckily, the card type strategy is pretty easy to implement, as there's plenty of artifact creature mana dorks to choose from. Some cards that really stood out to me are Twitching Doll, Summon Titan, and Enduring Vitality. All 3 of these provide even more value than just ramp and triggering Rendmaw. With making so many birds, Growing Rights is pretty easy to achieve and then flip to get you a Gaia's Cradle, and Path of Discovery either puts a land into your hand or allows you to bin your top card, which gives us access to Delirium pretty quickly. Card draw in this deck is awesome. We get to play Babala Saga for insane card advantage and bolting our opponents each turn. Scrawling Crawler and Dockside Chef offer card advantage and their double creature types. Compost and Pygmy Kavu because we're giving our opponents black creatures who will eventually hit the bin in combat. Oran Frostfang and Toski Bear of Secrets to support our always attacking birds. Beast Whisperer to play off casting creatures, and then Morbid Opportunist to play off our opponent's birds dying each turn. And Wickerfolk Thresher is just a good value card. A 5/4 artifact creature triggers Rendmaw and plays off Delirium very easily. It could put lands on the battlefield or put cards in our hand. Rendmaw has a ton of support cards, so getting the right mix was a little bit difficult. I wanted to find cheap and efficient creatures with double types so that we can make multiple birds in a turn. Ornithopter, Shield Spear, and Phyrexian Walker are just cheap extra bodies that trigger Rendmaw the same turn he comes into play. Towering Viewpoint, Weathered Sentinels, and Excavated Wall help hold back attackers while providing additional upside, and Akrasta the Endless Web, Nyx Weaver, and Springheart Nantuko are enchantment creatures for Rendmaw that create tokens and get us Delirium. I'm excited to play with side quest Raise a Chocobo too. It doesn't work with Rendmaw on cast, but it does net us a token, and getting to 4 birds is very easy to do. Once it flips, it gets us a land and buffs our birds every time a land enters the battlefield. I think that's a very good amount of value for 2 mana. Temur Sabertooth, Wall of Junk, and Mistbreath Elder help us bounce our 2 card type creatures each turn to keep making birds. And we play plenty of creatures with ETB effects as well, so that's extra value. And I want to highlight Reap here as a huge value play at instant speed. Making a ton of birds for our opponents and then casting Reap can basically refill our hand in the late game. Bart's Boko is a 2-mana 4/3 destroy target creature the majority of the time. Affinity for birds is broken in this deck. Dalek Drone and Necron Deathmark both trigger Rendmaw and blow up an enemy creature in the process. Lignify and Trickster's Elk help remove problematic creatures with great abilities and trigger Rendmaw. Drag to the Roots is a catch-all and cheap to cast with Delirium. We play a good amount of artifacts in this deck, so I thought Demonic Junker had a lot of value even if we pay 2 to 3 mana for it. We have a few different ways of making our creatures beefy to attack our opponents. Graz, March of the World Ooze, and Beastmaster Ascension basically accomplish the same thing in making our opponents much larger and attack worthy. Crown of Doom offers some interesting gameplay for our opponents as they continue to slug it out. And Andorel, Communal Brewing, and Obsessive Skinner all add counters to our entire board. And lastly, Massacre Worm, Poison Tip Archer, and Blood Artist helps drain our opponents for the last few points of damage. And that's my overview of Rendmaw Creaking Nest in Commander. What'd you think of the deck? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for checking out the video. I'll see you in the next one.